Alright, good evening everybody. I would hope I put it in drive. Anyhow. This is one issue with the Santa Cruz, and it's warning system. This will be a short video. I have a trailer in the back, a car dolly, and it sticks out a bit. I can see the warning light in the mirror. That's just because the trailer is kind of moving around. It's a dolly, so it's more likely than not to bounce around. And I believe when I used the car haul the first time, when I told the tracker, obviously the tracker's also sticking out. So, again, that's one little glitch. I don't know if I want to call it a glitch, but as you know, when you're pulling a trailer, you definitely have to have all your eyes on the game. And keep in mind, because this is an empty car dolly, I took the tractor to a repair shop, yesterday. It's going to bounce around a bit, so you actually have to drive very, very slow. All it takes is just one bounce. And that could be catastrophic. And the other side note, when you're loading the dolly, you definitely want to get the vehicle as centered as possible. Yep, I'm just turning the blinker on, and you can hear I'm going in a straight line, and because the fender of the trailer is sticking out. The radar is going to detect that. Now again, I know it's a Hyundai, not like some super luxury brand, but you can kind of see that's one little glitch. It'll warn you, because it's supposed to warn you, like when there's a car close by. And I've covered this in other videos. A lot of this technology make people dumber on the road. But anyhow, that's one glitch, if you want to call it that, with the warning symbols when you're pulling a trailer. Now, do any vehicles have like a mode, like trailer mode, where it knows you're pulling a trailer, but will pick up some other vehicle coming up on you? I don't know. But that is one little issue. And side note, the GPS got the location wrong when I plugged in the address for the repair shop. And again, so that could be one disadvantage of the GPS versus Google Maps. Google Maps probably would have put me in the right place. But again, it was only 1,000 feet, like 1,000 feet or so off, from where the actual place was. But nothing's perfect. I know yesterday my sort of workaround was putting in the address for the other garage that had the same name, different people, and I drove past the one that I was initially looking for, and then I turned around back and said, "Yay, this is the one." Because they sent a text, with the address, and I was like, okay, this address matches up, so I brought it to the correct place. Anyhow, yep, there you go. I'm going in a straight line, and it's still warning people, warning me rather. As if there was another car coming. Again, going slow because an empty dolly can have a mind of its own, and trying to back this up is actually way harder than trying to back up a bigger trailer, like a landscaping trailer or a car hauler, just because they're so light. And that could be, that's just the way it is. But that's just some food for thought. If you're towing with a dolly, obviously you don't back up with whatever you're towing. In fact, it says so right in the trailer, do not back up. But, when the trailer is empty, sometimes you just got to get creative. And, again, a dolly, an empty dolly, is more likely to jackknife just because it's so light in the back. And, I could have dismantled it, but I didn't want to do that. I'll let you all deal with all of that. Alright, let me put my right blinker on. I think it's mainly with the left one. Yeah, I think it's the driver's side that seems to be doing that because the warning light is still on. And, again, an empty dolly can have a mind of its own, so you actually should drive way more cautious with an empty dolly, than with an empty, car hauler. Anyhow, that's it for this video. I'll talk to you.